I still don't have what it takes. I must train harder. This time, victory is mine. Hadouken! This time, victory is mine. Hadouken! Hadouken! I still don't have what it takes. I must train harder. This time, victory is mine. Hadouken! This time, victory is mine. Hadouken!
Hey everybody, welcome to Will and Drew's Gaming Retrospective. You're listening to episode 118. It's the week of March 21st, 2021. I'm your host, Drew, and I am joined by Will, who is in a much cooler color temperature than I am.
I am, dude. I am. Look at this natural daylight over to my left here, or your right, depending how you're viewing me. I've got my cool light setting on, and yeah, I've got this lamp on too, and this is probably the best lighting I've ever had.
It looks gorgeous. I wish I had the ability to do this in my room. I am surrounded by a window to my right and directly behind me, and I had to pull my room darkening curtains closed today, just because last time we did it, I think it kind of blew out the camera lens a little bit. So I'm working on getting lighting, Will. I got to improve this setup. I want to be like all cool like the big streamers are, man.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm not pink, dark, or looking like powder, dude. Because it's usually one of the three. It's never this.
Yeah. You know, we should get a makeup team, just a little touch up. You could contour my beard a little.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Get rid of those
little lip gloss.
Look at those shiny spots here. You got to get rid of those.
Dude, we were at Bed Bath & Beyond, I think it was yesterday, and we saw Michael Bublé, who most people know of. He's that crooner guy. He's like the next Sinatra.
Yeah.
And he was in an advertisement for that SodaStream device. Yeah. We actually have one. And I guess now Bubbly, the brand, is sponsored by SodaStream or vice versa.
Okay.
And the picture of Michael Bublé, his lips were just like... And he had like lip gloss on. I'm like, come on, man. Like, who is behind this nonsense? He doesn't need it, A, and B, why?
Dude, when you said you saw Michael Bublé, I thought that like you actually like ran into him at Bed Bath & Beyond and he was doing like a promo for the for the fucking SodaStream or something.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I'd probably be pretty starstruck because that dude's kind of cool.
Oh, goodness. Well, real quick, let's give a shout out to our Twitch chat for today. We got BGIBIX, Killer Ciroc, Epic Outro. Guys,
hello.
Thank you for tuning in and joining us. If you're listening to us on your audio device, we do stream on Twitch every Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, you can find us on the web at www.WDGRPodcast.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WDGRPodcast. Will, somebody would like to find you. How can they do so?
SoundCloud.com/Will_Gear.
And you can find me at ScionStorm. I'm waiting for the lower third to pop up. Hey, there it is. All right. I time these as cleverly as possible.
They look good, man.
Thank you.
They look good.
Thank you. So before we dive into the March Madness stuff, you've been playing anything lately?
No. And you know what? Before anybody gets disappointed, I have a damn good reason.
Yes,
God
you do.
Damn it.
Yes, you do. This is a setup.
It is a setup. No, Laura and I are finally moving. For folks that don't know, we've been living in a house that we've been renting for about a little over 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been all right, but it hasn't been ideal for our lifestyles. And we're ready to move on, and we actually are, literally. So May 1st is our move-in. We are moving into a brand new condominium. It's in a beautiful area of Windsor where I used to live. And I mean, you've seen the premises, man. It's pretty outstanding. We're very impressed, and we feel very, very lucky to be moving there.
Yeah, man, this place is like fancy to the nines. You got like a dog park, you got like a pizza oven, you've got like this really like beautiful like fire pit area, swimming pool, full scale gym. I think it even comes with like a personal masseuse per each apartment.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, dude. They don't even have keys. Like when we were getting shown around on Saturday, this girl was just showing us how to enter the condo and how to enter the building. It's all done with an app called Latch, which you have to put on your phone. So everything's just digital. Everything's all wireless.
Mm-hmm.
No keys whatsoever. No key card.
Wow.
And I was just thinking, man, like what happens if the app's down or your phone's having shit service? And apparently there's another way to get in with like a touch screen on the door, but it's all state-of-the-art stuff, man. You feel like you're just trying to get into the CIA headquarters in Langley,
dude,
just to get home.
Dude, my house was built in the 1950s. I'm glad that I have a Nest thermostat in my house.
Yeah, there's one of those in there too.
Oh God, like I would have to literally rewire the entire house to put anything else like Because I've looked, man. I've looked. Trust me. I want fucking touch panels everywhere, Will. Everywhere.
I'm going to have to learn, man. I'm not used to that kind of tech. But
Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
I know, right? But yeah, I mean, to kind of backtrack a little bit, we were actually looking at purchasing a home, like a freestanding home. And then we looked at some condos and townhomes to purchase. And the market right now is just so volatile, man. I mean, you know, it's a seller's market, and that's because of COVID and many other reasons. People are buying because of stimulus checks and extra money saved, so they're anxious to get out, and I completely understand that. But man, it is very challenging finding a house right now that isn't built in 1800s. Because all the good stuff's gone, and all the good stuff that is left is way too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what you guys have gone through in the past couple months that you've been looking. Like, for us, it was challenging, and that was 3 years ago. So
statistically, 1 in every 3 people ends up in the verge of tears tears in general when they're house shopping.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's an incredibly stressful process. I mean, you've gone through it. You know it better than I do. But even just that kind of pre-approval stage when you start working with an agent, it's all you think about. It consumes you. And it's exactly what happened to the we're now kind of relinquished. We're very grateful.
Yeah, man.
You don't have to worry about all the red tape that's involved.
Yeah. It's very stressful. And I can identify with the verge of tears thing because we put in a bid on a place and it got rejected, and Nikki, she was pretty upset about that, and it's stressful. It's super stressful. So definitely glad that you guys have found something that's going to work for you, and I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see the place.
Yeah, and best of all, you're going to be helping. You and Nikki, your wife, are going to be helping Lauren and I, and we're absolutely pumped for that.
Yeah, man.
We need your guns to help lift things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's going to be a fun day. I'm sure that we're going to document some of that for the show. Maybe on Instagram we'll do some stories the day of, and you guys can witness the move live in action.
That sounds like a plan to me, man. I'm looking forward to that too. So
yeah, we should just set up the phone on a tripod, put it on live, and just occasionally you just hear like nothing but just like thumping and like, oh shit, move it to the left, do it now.
I'm sure there's some
my hands,
some Friends references to pivot. Yeah, that's what everybody always says. So, yeah, man. Will and Drew's moving adventures or something, right? Whatever.
And I'm pumped too, man, because I'm going to have an entire office, basically a separate bedroom that I'm just going to turn into a complete studio, which Lauren is letting me do. So I'm thankful for that as well.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So all good things, man. It's just, a tiresome process. We're both exhausted, but we're catching up. We're trying to get everything packed this month so we can just kind of relax in April, and come May 1st, we'll be ready to go. Yeah.
The good news is like you got the most difficult part done and over with. So now it's just really the physical part, moving stuff. And, you guys don't have a lot of stuff. I really don't anticipate that being too crazy. And plus, Nikki and I were like, we're beasts when it comes to moving people. We're professionals. So we ourselves have moved 3 times together. And, this house is the 4th place that we've lived at. And we don't fuck around, man. We get it done.
That's good to hear. And here's the thing, man. Like, moving sucks, but it doesn't have to suck.
It doesn't have to.
I think you can make it suck less.
Yeah. Well, it's about creating memories and having a good time, like people getting shit done, So, well, I'm a little disappointed that we're not going to have like boxes of video games to move, but at the same time, I'm glad we're not going to have boxes of video games to move. So
we're going to have art books though, dude. Like, Lauren came upstairs, I think it was yesterday, and she was like, honey, like those art books, like, I mean, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, look, it's my one vice. All right.
Yep. Next time,
let him be.
Next time you see Kevin, ask him about another box of books.
Okay.
He tells it best. Oh, goodness. So this is the 4th week of our March Madness series. Let's swing over into that real quick here. And, man, it has been a wild ride. Have you been keeping up on the results at all?
Not as much as I'd like to, hence everything that's been going on, but I'm very excited to hear what's happening with it now.
Yeah, man. So we had the Elite Eight last week, and broke down into Halo versus Pokemon, Doom versus Metal Gear Solid, The Legend of Zelda versus Mario Kart, and Metroid versus Castlevania. And the winners of these matches would be their division champions. And moving on into the Final Four, which is a highly coveted spot in the WDGR March Madness Championships, of course. So why don't we take a look and see how the voting went down. If this is your first time tuning in, you have no idea what's going on. We have been whittling away at 64 video game franchises over the past few weeks to find the number one champion of all video game franchises. And the voting has been done on Twitter at WDGRPodcast. So if you would like to participate, swing on by to that Twitter page, www.twitter.com/WDGRPodcast. Follow us, hit the bell for alerts, or don't. I'm not your supervisor. And, you'll keep an eye out for the voting thread. I've been posting them either immediately after the recording of this episode or the following day. It runs for 6 or 7 days, and you can vote on which franchise you think deserves to move on. Once the voting is up, the votes are tallied, and then we discuss them here. So, poor Will has been indulging me for 4 weeks now. 2 more weeks, buddy. So let's take a look at the first matchup here. We have, in the northern bracket, Halo is taking on Pokemon. Will, who do you think took the victory on this one?
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, if it's Pokemon, I'm out. I'm going to say Halo.
Okay. Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure.
Let's take a look at the votes. 61% in favor of Pokemon, 38% in favor of Halo. Pikachu layeth the smacketh down on Master Chief and Cortana. This disappoints me, but I get it.
I suppose. I mean, I really am living under a rock when it comes to Pokemon, I guess.
I mean, no, you're just not a child.
Not 10. I'm not 10.
I mean, it all comes down to whether or not you played the games when you were a kid. We've said this before.
Yeah.
Either you grew up a fan or you didn't. And if you didn't, you're not. And if you did, you are. And I really don't think there's anything more to it than that. And that's okay. Like, that's fine. I voted for Halo. I'm disappointed Halo didn't win. But at the end of the day, I get it. So...
Well, I don't have much to say, man. I played Pokemon Red. That's about it.
Fair enough. We'll move on. Move on to the next match. All right. Looking at the Southern Conference, we have Doom taking on Metal Gear Solid. What do you think?
I mean, this is just obviously a complete walk away if MGS does not win. Because I'll just cry. And I'll try not to cry and still cry a lot. So I'm going to say MGS. For sure.
What happens?
It's too strong a franchise, man.
What happens if MGS does win? How do you think that's going to make me feel? Like I've been asking about your feelings, but you've never once asked about mine.
I mean, who cares about yours, though? I mean, honestly, especially when it comes to Doom. I mean, it's a game that you play like once every 5 years. You don't really like it that much. Couldn't be any further from the truth.
I'm gonna flip this fucking desk. Oh, oh man, if I didn't have this open beer. All right, well, I'm about to rip and tear your fucking face off because Metal Gear Solid won, and this is not cool, man. Doom is a historic franchise. No, don't you shake your fist at me. What is going on here? What is with these nonsense votes for a nonsense franchise like Metal Gear Solid? It doesn't even make any fucking sense.
It doesn't.
Tell me the story. Tell me the story.
I can't because it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, my God. 60% to 40% in favor of MGS. This is bullshit, man.
Dude, they're both great, and I don't even have the liberty to really say that, honestly, because I haven't played much of Doom. Look, I mean, I'm going to be happy. There's no doubt about it.
I can't...
But, yeah.
This just hit me.
Old man yells at cloud.
All this is leading to watching Pokemon stomp a mud hole in Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, why'd you have to remind me of that? You stack of shit.
my god.
Man.
That's-
Oh man.
This is where this is going. No, Killer Sirach. MGS is not better. No.
I told you no. Doom.
I mean,
Yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing for the folk. I mean, look at Vic's mad.
yeah. Everybody that knows what the fuck is up is mad because Doom has been around for how many decades now? It was 1993 was the first game. Look at the numbers. We had 20 votes, bro. 20 votes. That means there was what? 16 or I don't know. I can't do math. 12 losers.
Vic again with the boat just to reinforce it.
This is bullshit. This is
I
bullshit.
mean, I'll tell you right now, from like a sort of, I don't know, I guess just a game standpoint, Doom is definitely more accessible.
You know what?
I can admit that.
To put things into perspective, our good friend Damien put Metal Gear Solid in Doom. You can't put Doom in Metal Gear Solid, can you?
No, I'm a
Yeah.
little lost though. Wait, what are you talking about?
He built-
Is this one of his projects?
He did a Doom wad for Metal Gear Solid years ago.
Oh, did he?
Yep,
Huh.
it was like
Maybe
the
I didn't see
entire.
that.
It was like almost the entire first game, as a Doom level. It was actually magnificent. It was one of his first like forays into modding and things like that. This was like
Okay.
back in like late '90s, 2000s. It was shortly after MGS came out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I had no
So-
idea.
Listen, you guys, epic outro, Killer Sirach with your technicalities. Go fuck off.
I
fuck
knew
off.
they were going to come too. I was like, somebody's going to chime in with. how
Well,
long it's been
actually, MGS has been around longer. No, shove it up your ass. Doom did more for the entire video game franchise. Anyway, Pokemon, Metal Gear Solid, suck it. Pikachu's gonna go ape shit all over your ass.
around. I sure hope not.
Oh man, I can't wait. I'm voting for Pokemon. I have not voted for Pokemon once, but I'm voting for Pokemon out of spite.
It is absolutely out of spite.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, goddammit.
I'm
'Cause
moving-
you don't even throw those Pokeballs or whatever the hell they call
No,
them, right?
no, I don't, but I'm gonna. We got Pokemon emoji in our chat room. I don't even have Pokemon emoji for the chat room. What the fuck is this?
Dude, I don't get it either. Every time I try to use one on Damien's stream, I have like 3 to choose from. And they're all shite.
Haven't heard the word shite in a long time.
I'm
goodness.
glad that I was able to fill that void for you.
Vortex, join me. Let's vote for Pokemon against the Metal Gear crapola. Anyway, moving on. Legend of Zelda versus Mario Kart in the East. What are you thinking, man?
Zelda.
Yeah, I have to go with Zelda too. I think this isn't even close. Zelda has been dominating every match it's been in, by like at least 3/4 of the votes. And let's take a look and see what the numbers are. Yeah, this isn't even close. 85.7% for Zelda, 14.3% for Mario Kart. I'm not surprised. I mean,
that's a landslide if I've ever seen one.
it really is. And rightfully so. Like, Mario Kart's a great franchise, but I mean, Zelda is so much bigger,
It truly is.
Quick break to the chat room. BIX wants to know. I'm just gonna say Dwayne. Dwayne wants to know, what is Doom's name anyway? It's Doom Guy. It's fucking Doom Guy, dude. Pay attention.
Now, didn't Dave discover his name? Isn't it like Jack Flash
Oh, no.
Child or something?
Well, if we're going by the books, it's Flynn Taggart.
That's right.
Yeah.
Basically a porn star name
Yes.
from the 80s.
Yes. There are references to Flynn Taggart in the Doom Eternal game as well, which is pretty awesome. There are a
It's
lot.
definitely a cool name. Like, imagine having that name.
Yeah, right. Well, what's your name? I'm Flynn. Flynn Taggart.
Yeah. There's no way that's your real name, dude. No, it definitely is. It definitely is.
Oh goodness.
The books are canon. Oh my god.
We're gonna have Dave read
I
more
knew that was
samples of
coming.
those at some point. All right, let's move on here. So Zelda moving on to face the winner of Metroid versus Castlevania. What are you thinking here, man?
Ooh, this is a tough matchup. 2 franchises that I am not really that familiar with. to make a good call here. I'm gonna go Metroid, probably just out of popularity.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a really interesting matchup for me, and I'm so glad that we got to this point because, I mean, this is literally the definition of Metroidvania right here. Two games that essentially created a genre. So I was watching the voting early on, and it was kind of pretty skewed in one direction, and then it took a flip to the other direction. And long story short, it's a close one, but Metroid takes the win, 57.7% to Castlevania, 42.3%. I have to agree with this, but I could respect it if it went the other way.
I'm in agreement with that. I mean, they're two really strong franchises that a lot of people like, and you can see here with the results that it's not that much of a difference.
Out of all four of the polls that we ran this week, this one had the most votes, and it had a good turnout, man. You know, these are both tremendous franchises with vast histories, but I think the quality level is a little more consistent with Metroid overall. Not that they both haven't had their stumbles. You know, but there's more games in the Castlevania lineup, but more falters along the way too. I think Metroid is a more solid franchise overall.
I would agree.
So taking a look at the matchup for the Final Four, we now have The Legend of Zelda taking on Metroid. That's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. I mean, these are all stars, no doubt about it.
These are all stars. So, looking at the Final Four, got Pokemon taking on Metal Gear Solid, Legend of Zelda taking on Metroid. The two winners of those matchups are going to face off, and it's going to be something.
It certainly is. I don't even know what to predict. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. So we'll take a look at the full bracket one more time to see how we got to this point. It's kind of tiny on the screen. It doesn't work. That makes me sad. Maybe
break out your binoculars, folks.
Maybe this will be a little bit better once it loads. But yeah, you get a
Dave, silence.
Farewell, Snake. Yeah, poor Snake. Poor Snake. Anyway, so shortly, if I remember to do this before I pass out in front of my keyboard, shortly after the end of this episode, I will post the last two polls for this week, and you guys can go ahead and vote. www.twitter.com/WDGRPodcast or just at WDGRPodcast on Twitter. I don't know why I'm saying the URL tonight. I'm tired.
We always are.
I had 2 cups of coffee and I'm on my first beer. That's the kind of night we're having. Like I'm trying to get myself awake and then crash myself back down.
That is a recipe for disaster.
Well, I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so
Godspeed.
Whatever. All right, let's move on to the next part of the show, shall we?
Let's do it. I'll bring up the mailbag here.
Yeah, so folks, we have a Discord room. And if you're not in there, we would love to have you come on by and say hello. Every once in a while, we throw open a mailbag and we ask our listeners for various questions. And we got some crazy ones this week. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what some of these questions are. I've only glanced briefly.
Always dangerous when we do that.
Yeah.
Then we get blindsided. We're just like, let me get back to you. And then we don't sometimes.
Dwayne is saying I should mix my coffee with spiked eggnog.
I think I'm going to puke.
That sounds terrible, bro. I'd rather just do Bailey's or Jameson. Jameson would work.
Did you start that off? You said his name's Dwayne?
Yeah, BGIBIX.
Dwayne, did you start that off by saying good mix as that was like the title for your statement? Because that's not good. He set it up.
Oh, God.
Set it up. Okay, you ready for this good mix? Now I'm going to tell you what's going to be vomit-induced.
He's dropping some knowledge.
But that's, that ain't good.
Oh, godness. All right, man. Take it away. What do we got here?
Taking his lead there. Dwayne, what have you done, sir? Puxor3 says, now that Bethesda games are on Game Pass, are y'all going to do... I just feel like I'm going to have an accent when I say it that way. Are you guys going to do a play along episode where Will Gear teaches Scion Storm how to become a vampire lord? I don't know, man. I'd love to do that, but that's going to be potentially some convincing for Drew.
I mean, realistically speaking, I'm down for trying just about any game. I do have my own thoughts on Skyrim and I guess preconceived notions about what the game is and what it's about and whether or not I like it. But if it were for a series for the podcast, I'd do it.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that, but I mean, honestly, I think it would be a blast, dude. It would also be hilarious, especially if we were able to play Skyrim in the style of Portal 2.
Oh God.
Oh my God, that would be so much fun just watching you struggle at first.
Yeah. I think what we need to do is when it's safe to gather in the same place, we should set up a camera on a tripod and be in the same room together, and I'll play and you'll tell me what to do.
Sign me up.
Does
because
this sound
that
fun?
would be incredibly entertaining.
And we'll try to do some kind of like we'll try and like edit it down into something that's presentable, maybe.
No promises.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
So moving on, Pucks, that was a great question, and hopefully that will happen. Patrick from the Retrospectives podcast says, what are you hoping for from Elder Scrolls 6? Do you want a completely revamped combat system? I eventually stopped playing because the combat becomes too repetitive. I mean, I would imagine this is more directed towards me.
I have no say in this question, so go for it.
I don't know, Pat. I mean, I want to see Skyrim, but just enhanced and just larger and bigger and better. I wish I could provide more details, but I really like the formula that Skyrim has, so I wouldn't want that tampered with too much. I just want to see better graphics, better environments, new environments, not so much a sort of a winter atmosphere that Skyrim presented. So that's my answer to question one. As far as the combat system, absolutely. We need something that's a little bit more akin to Dark Souls, something that's just more fluid and tighter, because everybody knows that in Skyrim it's very much just like sword swing, block, sword swing, block, and it's a little bit wooden. And I know a lot of people complained about that, and at times it is pretty cool when you get those action shot kills. If you've ever played the game, folks will know what I'm talking about there. But it definitely needs work. So I'd like to see those improvements for ES6.
Okay. I don't have anything to add. I'm not familiar enough to comment.
No worries. We'll move on to Scooby Diesel. Question one.
I love that
says,
name.
What is your? I know, it really is great. I still say it sometimes to Lauren. I'm like, Scooby Diesel. Now she actually knows.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's no longer like, wait, what did you just say?
I haven't gotten on a first name basis with Nikki and Scooby yet. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's gonna change.
It's gonna have to. It's gonna have to. Who the hell's Scooby Diesel? Trust me, he's a cool dude.
He's got like a blank stare, like, what did you just say? Oh man. I might have to remember a story for later. So,
oh boy.
Scooby asks, number one, what is your favorite cookie, and what cookie do you dislike the most? Why don't you go first, Drew?
I mean, lately I've been on like an EL fudge kick and a Vienna finger kick. I thoroughly enjoy those cookies. I'm not like too crazy about your standard chocolate chip kind of cookie. But Nikki's been baking lately too, and she's been making some bomb ass cookies. Last week she made pistachio cookies with.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Oh man, they were amazing, and they just I don't remember what kind of frosting they had on top of them, but they were great.
It looked straight out of a Gordon Ramsay cookbook, man.
Yeah, I mean she could cook. She can cook. I am very fortunate to have chosen wisely.
With your checklist, can you cook? Check. Okay, we're good to go.
I mean, it wasn't even a requirement. I just got lucky. Like, I'm not one of those guys that, like, needs a woman that can cook. Like, I'm capable of cooking too.
Sure.
But I don't have to because, like, she enjoys it,
She's a rock star, man. And I haven't even really experienced all of it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's funny, we joke about it all the time, because she doesn't like cook from memory very often. You know, she's got a couple recipes that are like go-tos, but for the most part, she is constantly looking for recipes. Her mom is the same way, by the way. So this is like hereditary. She'll go online, she'll find a recipe, and she'll be like, yeah, you know, I think I'm going to make, you know, homemade General Tso's chicken today. And I've already got all the sesame seed oil, like all the exotic spices and oils that we need. Like she'll buy them for this recipe. So we'll have them in the house. And then she'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, I hope you enjoyed that meal because you're never going to have it again because I will never make it again. And,
oh my gosh.
And there's some truth to that. It's kind of funny because like this recipe, like it'll be this amazing recipe and then she'll forget it ever existed. And next time she makes the same dish, she'll use a completely different recipe.
So since you're well aware of this sort of line of events here, it sounds like you really savor every meal that she makes.
Well, you never know when she's going to murder me. So yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh man.
How about you, man?
Dude, I don't know, man. I love cookies. I'll tell you that much. I don't know if I really have a go-to. I tried Tate's recently because I just see them everywhere and I didn't love them, but I do like a crispy cookie every once in a while. But ultimately, if I could have any cookie in the world, it would probably be like a large chocolate chip cookie, like an oversized one that is soft and chewy.
Yeah, I don't like crunchy chocolate chip. It's got to be chewy.
I like soft, chewy chocolate chip cookies. I'm pretty simple, but I do like those specifics. Like, and it has to be like a high quality one because I'm like a snob. It has to be from like, I don't know, like a really good bakery or like I'm not really one to eat the cookies that you just put in the oven, you know, for 10 minutes. I mean, there's a time and place for those. But if I could have, you know, a favorite, then there's a brand called Aaliyah's, I think it is, and they make a gluten-free cookie, and it's more of like a floury, like crispy cookie. And I have yet to find them again, but I remember when I would buy them, they were like $8 for like 10 of them.
I'm sorry.
They were so freaking good, man. I don't know why they were so good.
I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I gotta... Dwayne just dropped a great joke in the chat.
I love Rihanna cookies.
Because you said you love Aaliyah cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Dave,
Dr. Pepper and milk. Oh my God, why did I just read that?
Dave with the Hydrox. Yeah, old school Oreos. Hydrox.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, dude, I'd eat a whole sleeve of Chips Ahoy. Whole sleeve.
Yeah. My grandmother used to buy these cookies called Peak Freens. And they were like these little shortbread cookies with a fruit flavored like jelly kind of thing. It was almost like a jelly
jam.
Not a jam. It was more of the texture of the jelly was closer to like a gumdrop. Okay. Which sounds weird. It wasn't as stiff.
Was it like a jelly disc?
It was a disc. The bottom was shortbread. There was a cream in the middle. And then there was a disc, another shortbread disc on top with a hole in the middle where the gumdrop kind of texture.
The jam disc.
Yeah. The jam disc. And I used to love the shit out of those. They stopped making them years ago, and I wish I knew because I would have bought a bunch before they stopped selling them.
I do like a good shortbread cookie with some like jam in there.
Yeah. I don't think I have like any cookies that I dislike. If I had to go with anything, I'd say oatmeal can get fucked.
I'm with you on that. Anything with raisins could fuck right off for sure.
You have a vendetta against raisins. I don't know what's up with that.
I more or less do, dude. I think it was my parents, you know, like they definitely were the parents that tried to pack a healthy lunch. I didn't get the Twinkies. I got the Sun-Made raisins.
You have a raisin vendetta.
Yeah, shortbread is good. Walkers. Shout out to Walkers.
All right.
Killer Ciroc says, oh man, he's got 9
He's got a
questions
list,
here.
yeah.
Number 1 is, what's a remake of a classic game you'd like to see? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we've discussed before. I always go back to TurboGrafx. I'd love to see a remake of Bloody Wolf.
Okay. I would say my go-to, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. From N64, I'd like to see a remake of that.
While you're drinking your beverage, I'll chime in. What is the worst game you've ever played?
I think that we've touched on this before, too. Man, I think I struggled on this before as well. because, hey, this guy doesn't play any bad games.
I mean,
Because I'm just that good. My taste is so good.
I grabbed a copy of Mission Impossible for you.
Thank you for bringing that up because I'd probably say that game. I would probably say that game because it was pretty fucking terrible.
Dave has given us nightmares of a game called Club Drive on the Atari Jaguar, not to be confused with Drive Club, which is a completely different game. That Club Drive is just absolute garbage. I wasn't even thinking about that game, but that might be the worst game I've ever played. Outside of that, man, like I don't even know where to really begin. E.T. for the Atari 2600, absolutely terrible. Classic bad game. Whew.
Hey, the reason why they buried it, I guess.
There's a game called Impossible on the TurboGrafx. It's really bad.
It sounds bad. The title is awful.
It's really bad. So, okay. That's all I got.
No worries. What's your favorite game based on a movie or TV property? Game based on a movie.
Oh, Jedi Fallen Order. Does that count? Does that count?
I don't know, dude. I don't know if it does. I would think this is more like a Harry Potter game, right?
Well, I mean, it's about, it's along the lines of the franchise. It doesn't have to be, I guess,
I mean, if that's the case, I could go with a Star Wars pick.
Yeah. Epic Outros suggesting Street Fighter the movie. No, that's a terrible game. Yeah, I mean, there's just movie tie-ins just don't usually do very well.
They don't. Oh, wait, I've got one.
Yeah.
Star Wars The Phantom Menace for PS1.
I don't think I played that one.
It was a pretty good game. I never beat it, but it was actually quite good.
Oh, Dave was clarifying that was for the previous question. Yes, it was a bad game. GoldenEye. Oh, shit, why didn't we think of GoldenEye? That's a good choice.
I don't know, dude. That is a great choice.
Though I never owned GoldenEye, so that's kind of tough. Yeah.
You want to read the last one?
Who is stronger, Drew or Will?
This was brought up before as well at some point, and I definitely gave you the title there because if we're going to base this on just sheer size and strength and weight, Drew's got me beat. For folks that don't know, Drew's 6'2", I'm 6'4", but I'm
fat.
I'm thin. Oh my gosh. I'm thin. I have very thin, lean muscle. I'm not jacked. I don't have a lot of body mass that I can swing around. So strength wise, it's got to be Drew.
Yeah, sure. I don't really have anything to add or deny.
Yeah, but it's interesting though. Some people have strength in different areas.
Yes.
And then other people don't. So I might have better grip strength than you, and
my grip strength is trash. My grip strength is trash.
Mine's pretty good actually. Not to toot my own horn, but it's quite good.
Yeah.
Even though I bought gloves for the move.
You need them though.
I do.
Grip strength does not does not negate gloves. Let me put it that way.
Killer Sirach says Drew has good calf strength.
I do.
That's kind of an inside joke, isn't it?
I have sexy calves. I will pop them at you when I see you. I could.
You're flare them.
I'm flexing them right now. You don't even know it.
You're check this out.
Yeah.
Just watch it go up and down.
Right. Left.
The
left.
move is, I guess. Did you ever get a cramp in your calf?
Oh God, it's the worst.
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
You think you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always when you're yeah, so honey, I was gonna buy the bananas. Oh, just give me a second.
And then you're rolling around on the floor, trying to punch the cramp out.
Like you're on fire. And your calf is on the front of your shin. At least it feels like it is. And
Tuck
then you
and
look
roll.
At it, and it's just slightly awkwardly sideways.
And you get your toes all twisted and mangled and shit.
Yeah, your toes, your foot's like this. Oh God. Oh, that reminds me. Pumpkin spice Oreos are delicious cookies.
No.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Oh,
Moving on.
I think I just threw up a little.
Dude, they're fucking delicious. Joe Donuts says, when is Kojima superfan Will underscore gear going to take that? Brandon,
He
I read
spelled
this early and I was like, you know what, Joe?
he
got me.
he fucking
got me,
spelled
Joe.
out Will underscore gear. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it actually made me smile. I appreciate that, Joe. Honestly, man, there's a good chance this year. Um, it's a game that I'm still very much invested in terms of wanting to play. I think I just played it at the wrong time. It was a classic case of a game coming out when I had other things going on. I bought it, shouldn't have bought it that day. Played like, an hour of it and I was like, all right, this is super cool, but I just don't know if I'm ready to soak this in, and it just got kind of backburned. So, I would say there's a good chance this year. I don't want to make any promises, but the year's still young, so that's my answer to that. Related question: what's a game you were super excited for and then immediately stopped playing or never even started it? Drew, why don't you lead with that?
Cyberpunk is, I think, the best recent example.
Okay.
I was super excited for that. I got caught up in the hype with everybody else, and it was so, like, my experience I don't think was as bad as most people's, but it was starting to become worse and worse the further into the game I went, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to shelve this for now, partially out of principle, partially because they were promising updates. And so far it has not been good news for that game. I am starting to believe that I'm never going to play it again because I'm not sure it can be salvaged.
It's a goddamn shame.
Some of the stuff that's wrong with that game is significant, and it's not just like bugs. It's not just graphical errors. It's like police spawning in elevators on floors that they should not have access to, or rooftops that you were previously alone on, things like that. There's a lot of stuff within the game that's fundamentally broken, and that's really just tragic.
It's very interesting to, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say that it's very interesting to think about that game because it's literally like, when you go to like Best Buy and they always have like the same demo reel on a TV. I feel like that happened to Cyberpunk, and then all of a sudden somebody just turned off that demo.
Pretty much.
Just went away. I mean, like our Discord, the chatter went down. When you go on websites, there's just nothing going on. Like it just kind of disappeared.
Well, I mean, considering how the developers handled the situation, I mean, they lied. They outright lied. And we're not talking about like a fancy E3 demo lied. We're talking about withholding information from game reviewers lied. We're talking about, showing off footage for a very specific game and passing it off as belonging to other consoles. Like they were showing PC footage and saying that this is what the Xbox Series X is going to look like. And while it was close, it still wasn't accurate. And then, talking about all the benefits and things on the older consoles, they didn't even like acknowledge the fact that the PS4 was the worst of them all. Like that game should never have been made on older consoles if it was going to be this bad. It is just a disaster of epic proportions, and it's sad. And like we're going to be talking about this for years. Like they fucked up in a big way, and I know there's a lot of people that still have a lot of fun with that game. I'm happy for them, but you have to acknowledge the fact that this company withheld information, lied to their fans, and just downright deceived everyone.
It's hard to justify at this point. And I know there's a lot of justification coming from fans, first couple weeks, first month. But then when it got worse, it was just like, how do you justify this anymore, man? They just fucked up, period.
You go through like a period of mourning, I guess. I mean, like I was trying to justify the game to myself and to anybody that would listen, like I'm like, all right, well, I spent $60 on it. I have to find some good in this, right? Because I didn't return mine. I still have it. I bought physical. I kept it. And I don't regret holding on to it, but I expect that game to be playable at some point. And from what I hear, like the new patch is coming out, 1.2. I don't know the details, but the internet doesn't seem pleased.
Oh boy.
So we'll see. I'll try to find out some more information on it, but
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not looking
assuming
good.
the patch notes that went public are just not sufficient.
Yeah, I don't think it is. It doesn't address some of the core complaints of the game, and I think like they were supposed to improve like something with the AI with the cars, but like the mini map is broken. Like the mini map is so zoomed in that you overshoot your streets that you're supposed to be turning onto every single time. Not
Man.
like some of the time, like all of the time. Imagine if you were using your GPS and the GPS told you to turn after your red light. It's that kind of shit.
Nope.
Yeah, like
No,
you would stop using the GPS.
yeah, I totally would.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, this just reminds me of Anthem.
Anthem was at least like playable, you know.
Hmm.
Anthem didn't break systems. It had its own share of problems, but it wasn't like, I mean, that's another game that we could talk about being super excited for and then stop playing, you know.
Didn't they close the doors on it recently, like completely?
Well, it's the servers are still active, but they're not going to be pursuing Anthem 2, which the developers were hard at work on, apparently trying to overhaul the entire game. They were talking about doing something called Anthem Next, which would be like just a patch that overhauls this existing edition. And the executives at EA were like, nope, you're done. So they moved the team onto other projects. I think they moved them over to Dragon Age.
Damn, man. That game had some promise.
Yeah, it really did. How about you, man? Did you come up with anything?
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh,
Classic game.
at least that game
I
doesn't
started.
suck. That's a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was really good. What I played of it was, I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours, maybe 5. Stunning experience. But yeah, wrong place, wrong time. And I think it's a great question, Joe, to kind of bring this up again because it's something we talked about so much. And I still attribute it to too much selection and being distracted with those selections that are available to us. Having a big backlog and not having the commitment or willpower to stick with one game or two. So when something comes along and the release schedules of these games are also not structured to be very fitting with most people's backlogs. So I think that's really what creates this process of getting really excited for a game and still having the nerve, quite frankly, to put it on the back burner.
Yeah.
Like it's a really weird concept. Be like, dude, this game's fucking amazing, but I ain't playing it.
Right.
And it's like we come to this commitment where we're like, I'm just not going to play it right now because like I just need to be ready for it. And
Yeah.
it's because a lot of those games are so good that you do need to sink your teeth in. You can't just take a couple bites and move on. They just don't work that way.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, I think right place, right time is a big part of it, But, I don't think it's fair to blame the release cycle necessarily because there's nobody that's forcing you to buy a game.
Nope.
And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Like, you get something that's coming out at release, you're still 3 games deep on your backlog and you're like, well, I'm going to drop everything and play Cyberpunk now, and just as an example, like that happened to me. Like I'm ready to play Cyberpunk and I just didn't finish what I was playing and I should have. It happens,
Yeah, at the end of the day, the majority of it is a personal problem.
Right, absolutely.
And if you could accept that as a gamer, then you're already ahead of the game. But yeah, I mean, if you blame the system entirely, then that's just skewed.
Advent Portal in the Twitch chat just commented. He says that's why unless it's something I can't wait for, I'll wait until it's on sale. True story.
Yeah.
With the exception of like Nintendo first party games, this shit goes on sale in a month. If you're willing to wait, within 4 weeks, $20 off the price. And then within 6 months, probably another $10 off of that. So we have nobody to blame but ourselves.
Yeah. It's about commitment, and sometimes you have to turn a blind eye to some of the hype and the advertisement that's going on
Right.
on the internet because it can be powerful and it's hard to resist it.
Agreed.
Killer Sirach says, what game were you peer pressured into playing and hated or surprisingly enjoyed? That's a good one.
You go first for this
ponder.
one.
Yeah, let me ponder this briefly. Peer pressured into playing. There's definitely been plenty of those.
What are some games that like Vic made us play?
I mean, I could tell you right now, I was definitely peer pressured into Borderlands, and I hated it. But everybody knows that probably by now. So I'm trying to think of something that I was pressured into and surprisingly enjoyed. I mean, sure, could I use my classic crutch and say God of War? Yeah, because that was definitely a prime example of something that I was pressured into by
Mm.
quite a couple of people, mainly Zach, but it was definitely something that I surprisingly enjoyed. So I would say those are my two answers for now, Killer Sirach. I mean, if I thought of something else, I'll definitely let you know, but it might take some more thought.
Mm. The Last of Us, I think, is
Mm,
probably pretty high on my list, you know. And it wasn't one person in particular, but it was a lot of different people talking about how it was like their top game. I know I had quite a few conversations with Epic Outro about it, you know, and he was one of the ones that really kind of pushed me into it. Also, one of our coworkers, Brian, you know, the way he spoke about the game really solidified for me that I needed to play that game. As far as negative experiences, I'm really drawing a blank. Fallout.
okay.
I just don't like the Fallout games.
Who pressured you?
Wasn't just one person. I think I just tried to kind of see what everybody else was seeing. I know Damien is a huge fan of those games. And hearing him so hyped up about them and excited about them and all the shit that he would do in those games, and then I would just try it and it would just be like, no, this isn't for me, you know? And
Yeah.
it took a bit to recognize that.
Well, I think he likes the job mentality in games like that too, like, leaving no stone unturned kind of,
Mm-hmm.
methodology.
Sure.
He likes, completing tasks, and he's a completionist, and he's very detail oriented. So
Mm.
I think a game like Fallout 3, no wonder he broke it, because there's like 382 things to do.
Yeah. And he did them all.
He did them all.
Yep.
Joe says, watch any good movies lately? My answer is not really. I did watch The Butler with Forrest Whitaker
Mm.
recently because we were watching a movie or looking to watch a movie a couple weeks ago. And yeah, it was all right. It was a little predictable. Uh, that's kind of my short review. But outside of that, no, man. Like, we haven't been watching a ton of movies lately. I want to see Tenet, but I'm hearing mixed reviews.
Mm. We watched Nomadland with Frances McDormand a couple weeks ago.
Never heard of it.
It's a new film, and she is basically her husband passes away, and the town that they lived in is like a ghost town at this point. It was like, and this is based on a true story of the town at the very least. The town was like one of those. I don't remember what the industry was. I think it was like a mining town or something like that. But the company that like built up the town and housed all their employees went out of business, and the town just went into nothingness after that. So after her husband passes away, she just leaves her house, buys a van, brings everything that she could fit in the van that will help her survive, and drives from town to town, looking for enough work to pay the bills that she has so that she can continue to survive. And she's essentially a nomad. And she meets up with a group of like-minded people who are doing similar things. They're nomads as well, living out of their vans. And, it kind of focuses on her relationships with these people. And the acting in this is tremendous. Absolutely
Mm,
tremendous. She's a great actor. Probably most famous for her role in Fargo.
okay.
I can't remember the character's name, but she was the main character, the cop in Fargo. So, she's wonderful, and she's been in so many films. Historic career. This is a really good movie.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then immediately after that, we watched Willy's Wonderland, which features Nicolas Cage beating the shit out of animatronics.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a Nick Cage movie, all right.
It was
That dude
so,
just does anything now.
so good. So good, so good, so good. Stupid, but so good. Anyway.
Tenet was a good movie, but it hurt my brain to think about. Yeah, that's what I heard. And I love Chris Nolan, man, but like I feel like his movies are just getting more complex every time he releases a new one. And I'm not a huge fan of that, man. I love like, an intricate story and something that makes you think, but sometimes he goes a little bit too far, and I feel like I shouldn't have to watch a movie like two or three times to like, get it.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of directors and writers fall into. They feel that because they were successful with being a little deep on one film that they're required to continue to be deep on every film.
Yes.
And it just kind of gets ahead of itself. You find that a lot in music too. It's like once a band does something experimental, they like go into that wholeheartedly, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I think Albert Einstein had a quote. It was, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough.
Yeah, I think that's a good quote.
I will say, Joe, this is not a movie, but I did watch a docuseries on Netflix called Last Chance U Basketball, something that I would probably never ever watch, but I really enjoyed The Last Dance, which was about Michael Jordan's career with the Bulls, and that was outstanding. The Last Chance U Basketball was equally as outstanding, if not more. It's one of the most absorbing docuseries I think I've probably ever seen, hands down.
Very cool.
So that's something to check out. Shannon says, or Shannon Data Drive, or Data Dive, says, has there been a game that you pushed through because the gameplay was great, but the story was terrible? Conversely, has there been a game that you played through with a great story, but terrible gameplay?
Great story, terrible gameplay. I mean, I feel like there's a yes to both of these, and I wish I had a little more time to think about it. Advent Rising on the original Xbox, I remember being a pretty engaging story, but the gameplay was kind of mediocre. I wouldn't call it terrible, but it wasn't great. Story.
I thought of an answer for question one. Thank God.
Go for it.
I don't remember the name of the game, and I really am going to lean on the chat here to help me out. There was a game for the Xbox original. The gameplay was outstanding, but the story was terrible. And you play a guy who is in prison, and you can also transform into like a beast. I really wish I could remember the name of it, because they did a second one as well. But yeah, you play like an ex-convict or some shit like that, and you're like going through like this jail trying to escape, and you can transform into a beast to like slaughter people. And it was really freaking fun. I would have never played it, except it was the store manager of the GameStop at the time. I mean, we're talking like 2004 era. He's like, oh, dude, you got to get this game. Like, I know it doesn't look great, but the gameplay's really good and the story sucks. That was one of them. Man, I'm going to have to look up what game that was now. But conversely, game that you play through with a great story, terrible gameplay. I'd also say MGS Rising for question one. Story was fucking terrible. Gameplay was amazing. Gameplay playthrough, a great story, terrible gameplay. I don't know,
I'm really drawing a blank on that first question. I feel like it's easier for me to figure out the second question. Tetris. Tetris has a great gameplay mechanic, but a terrible story. So I'm sorry.
You're such a cheater.
He's gonna be so pissed at me.
He will.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, right. I'll have to circle back on that one.
Okay. Nerdy Super Bree says, have you read any good books lately? I'm in the process of reading two. One is called A World Without Email, which is all about living in a world without email, at least an idea of it. And it's very, very engaging. And then the other one is The Shallows, which is all about how the internet is affecting our brains, and that's also quite good. So those are my two books. I have not finished one recently. What about you?
I'm in the middle of a book by Lauren Bukes. It's called Afterland, which is kind of interesting. Probably not the best book to be reading during the middle of a pandemic, because it discusses essentially a pandemic. The gist of it is that all the men in the world end up getting a disease that gives them terminal cancer, and they all die. And it's like super accelerated. So like literally the entire Earth's population is just women, except for the main character and her son, who happens to be immune to the disease. Okay. Advent Portal is ribbing on me. He's telling me The Expanse is a great book series to read. Yes, it is, sir. And I will get to it, but yeah. All right, I need to ignore the chat for a bit because I'm dealing with some jerks over here.
Okay.
I've been recommending The Expanse to Killer Sirach since the show debuted, and he always responds with "What is The Expanse?"
Oh my gosh.
So he's just being a dick. Let's see here. I keep trying to read an investing book called The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, but it is so out of my circle of expertise that it's a really tough read for me. I'm kind of struggling, but it's supposed to be like the best book on value investing. So like I really want to read it because I think it'll make me a better investor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really struggling to get through it.
The problem with those kind of books is sometimes you have to kind of wade through a lot of mud to kind of get to where you want to be in the book,
Yeah.
and kind of like the real like nitty gritty.
Yeah.
But that sounds like it's worth it. You know, that's something that you've been pursuing and you want to kind of expand with.
Yeah. I mean, if I can just like give myself the willpower to get through the mud, as you said, I think it'll pay off.
I think so.
Yeah.
Bree asks, what movie would be greatly improved if it was made into a musical? I don't have an answer for this, but I do sort of have an answer. I'm not really big into musicals, and I can't think of a movie that I enjoy currently that I would want to be turned into one. But I can tell you that I really enjoyed La La Land, and I also enjoyed The Greatest Showman. Those are two musicals that are like new and modern.
Star Trek Nemesis would be a great musical. Star Wars A New Hope would be a great musical. I chose Nemesis because it's notoriously bad, but Star Wars is great.
You can envision that?
I think I can envision anything better than the product they gave us.
Okay.
The director of Nemesis didn't even know what Star Trek was, and he just fucked everything up. But I could actually envision Star Wars as a musical, like legitimately. I think it kind of writes itself in a way.
Okay.
That's it.
Why do round pizzas come in square boxes? I feel like a round box would be hard to create.
I think that sums it up best. And I'm sure there's some kind of like mathematical reason that Puxor will explain to us after this episode drops.
Probably. That's too funny. I love a good pizza though, man.
Yeah.
Do penguins have knees? I don't think so.
Without looking this up, I'm going to say no.
Right. With our luck, they probably fucking do. But I'm gonna say no. Your answer was great. Without looking this up, I'm gonna say no. Ain't that the fucking truth, man? What is your go-to joke? Ooh, I don't know if I really have one, man. Every once in a while, I'll pull out, that's what she said. I try not to overuse that one, but I don't really have a go-to joke. I wish I did.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't either. Guy walks into a bar, it hurts.
Tom's got some good ones like that. He drops a lot of dry humor, and you laugh because it's so freaking dry, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And his delivery is really good too. If you had to be teleported into a video game, which one would you pick? What would your role be in the game? That's a good question.
I
have an answer.
Go for it.
Vampire lore Sky.
I knew it.
I was actually gonna say the ninja or the wolf in Sekiro. I mean that's a really good one, man. I've got like 20 answers for that.
Really?
I'd love to be Snake.
Spider-Man. I'd fucking like web swing everywhere.
Great choice.
That would be cool. I feel like that's a cheap answer, but
not really, man. I mean, would you want that ability and also have the lack of fear of heights?
Ooh, I would have to because like I'm terrified of heights.
Yeah. Dude, if I'm on like a small roof, I'll cry and be sitting like Indian style, like the roof of a house. Like I've been on this roof in the house that we rent here, and I like was like shaking, and it's like 10 feet up.
Yeah.
But I was just like, damn, dude, if I fall, I could like sprain my ankle, So there's that. When are we playing BioShock? I don't know, man.
Yeah, so this is kind of a throwback to the game club that we started October of 2020, where we played through Dead Space, and it was really just me and Joe, and nobody else. I think there might have been one or two other people that were discussing the game with us, but we were really the only ones that were actually playing it through. And then in November, the new consoles came out, and I was like, well, we'll revisit this later. And then that hasn't happened yet. So I'm down for playing BioShock Infinite like I promised you, Bree. But I really want it to be more than two of us. Because
I'm with you. I'll do it.
I would let you. You're on? You're in for it?
I'm on.
All
And
right.
here's two reasons why. One, I own it for the PS3.
Okay.
And
Well-
Damien suggested it many times, so I kind of owe him that favor.
Okay, cool. So we got Advent Portal in the chat says he's down for it as well too. You own it PS3 digital or physical?
It's a digital.
All right. I don't know if you heard the news today, but it seems like they're going to be shutting down the digital store. So you better download that ASAP. And there's fear that Sony is not going to allow you to retrieve those games if you don't already have them.
Ooh. Thank you for letting me know, because I'm definitely going to take some action there.
We have some conversation about it in Chit Chat in our Discord room. So if this is not something you've heard about and you're listening to this for the first time, please swing on by, check it out. There's some links in there and a lot of discussion about it. This is really not good. They're doing it for the PSP and the Vita as well. And this has not been confirmed, but this is coming from reliable sources from what I understand.
Okay. No, I'm definitely taking action on that because for folks that don't know, there are a ton of PS1 gems on the digital store, and most of them are cheap. So if this is true, I will grab those now.
So-
When is the next game night? Hopefully somewhat soon.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about that too much because we've had some other things going on, but I would imagine soonish.
Yeah. Let me know, if you guys have any games that you want to play, and, we'll see what I could do about getting it on the PS4. I don't have a ton of PS4 games, but maybe we can make something work.
Yeah. She also says, favorite go-to comfort food?
Pizza.
Pizza's a good choice. I mean, I wouldn't say that Indian is comfort food. It's just like the best food in the world for me.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So comfort food, I don't know, man.
Have
Probably pizza.
you found an Indian place nearby the new spot?
No.
Well, we're going to figure that out.
Well, dude, we have to. And what's really kind of, I guess, sad for some people to think is it was one of my first thoughts. I was like, oh, man, goodbye, Utsav.
I'm going to, well, maybe there's another Utsav nearby. Isn't there more than one location?
Well, there's one in Wethersfield. I don't know how close that is to Windsor, but I can say that there's a place called Taste of India, I believe, in downtown Windsor. So maybe we could go check that out and break it in.
I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna find Indian for you right now on the air.
Thank you.
Let's see here. So we found that.
Mac and cheese is a good one, Brie.
Ooh.
I really like a good mac and cheese. I'm very picky about it. It's got to be something real good. Yeah, pizza, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes. A lot of people's favorites. I'm not too picky there.
Might have to drive a little bit, bud. This isn't looking good. I'll have to do more research, but this isn't looking too good.
I like a good beans on toast and a Marmite sandwich. Those are two British meals that I grew up with when I lived in England. So those are comfort foods as well.
I've never had Marmite.
Oh, it's really good. It looks like molasses and it spreads like it too.
Do you have any?
Oh yeah.
Next time I'm over, I'd like to try it.
Yeah. On the move.
Okay.
I'll break it out.
Yeah, just I've never had it. I've always been curious.
It's not good on its own. Like you have to put it on like toast with butter. Should be thinly spread. Or if you have a Marmite sandwich, it would be 2 pieces of bread, butter, Marmite, cut in half, and you're good to go.
Damien in the chat is asking if you've ever had haggis, aka sheep intestines.
I mean, if that's what it is, Damien, shame on you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not for you. Actually, I would probably be more predisposed to having it. Are you Scottish? It's a Scottish meal.
No.
Yeah, I am Scottish, and no, thank you.
Random question. I don't know if that's he's saying that was a random question or there's another one coming. I think there's another one coming.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I guess that finishes the mailbag unless you have any more answers.
Not really. I mean, pizza's like my go-to. I think mac and cheese is a good one. I'm trying to think of what other comfort foods I have. I'm really into like baked goods. Bagels are like one of my favorites. Any kind of bread. Like I could just put a slice of cheese on like toast and melt it in the toaster and just be like that's perfect, you know?
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Okay, I'm with you on that. What kind of mac and cheese do you like? Do you have like a go-to there?
Depends on the mood. You know, because like sometimes you just need like shitty box mac and cheese. You know?
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes just getting like the Kraft like shells and cheese is the way to go. Sometimes you just want like the powder. And then like, you know, maybe like the other day, we had like a mac and cheese that had broccoli in it. It was great, you know, and that was like a side dish. It wasn't a main dish. And sometimes you're doing a roux with the melty cheese. Sometimes you have like the 14 different cheeses in it. Like it doesn't matter, man. It's pasta. It's cheese. It's in my belly. It makes me happy.
I'm with you there, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. You ever have a good mashed potato pizza?
Yes. Yes.
That's a work of art.
Usually when I've had them, they've had bacon on them, but
yes,
they don't necessarily have to.
We should make that like when COVID simmered down, you guys come over to a new place. We should like make that all four of us just have like a dinner night. We just make like a bunch of pizzas and shit.
That sounds good.
Pizzas and quiches. That's it. That's the episode.
Pizzas and quiches.
Yeah. Damien, I feel like Robert Irvine is like your alter ego if you were a chef. And you were British. Because Robert Irvine, for folks that don't know, he's like loud, he's kind of boisterous, he's jacked, he's British.
He's married to a pro wrestler, too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's married to Gail Kim. She's one of the best women pro wrestlers in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, that dude's huge, man. I think he's like at least your height, but just enormous.
Yeah, he's a big dude. I like him. I miss seeing him on my TV.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, we used to watch Restaurant Impossible when that was on all the time. We don't have cable anymore, but it was a good show as far as reality TV goes, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, I guess he's just like a jacked Gordon Ramsay.
I mean, aren't they all?
That's true. They're all like, just fit chefs. Always wearing like a tight-fitted like black T-shirt, and you're like, "Fuck you, man."
I got to show you.
Cook and you're in good shape.
You gotta see Matty Matheson. He's the complete opposite of that. This dude is like, he's got to be like your height and like as round as he is tall, and he is like the loudest, most boisterous dude that makes like the best looking food.
Wasn't there what's this dude's name again?
Matty Matheson.
Was he on Vice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I probably know who he is.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. He yells a lot. It's hilarious. So, well, man, I think we're out of topics for the night, are we?
I think we are.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, don't buy a house. Don't buy a house unless you're really ready and you've read all the rules. The best advice I could give to anybody that's thinking about doing this. And be prepared. Buckle up, friends.
Mm-hmm. It is quite an adventure, man. Like it's worth it if you're prepared for it, but it is a lot to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad it worked out for you in the way it did, man. I'm super excited to see this place.
Likewise, yeah, I'm pumped for you to come over for sure.
Well, let's wrap things up for the night because I'm tired. I know you're tired, and I think everybody's tired of listening to us. So check us out on the web at www.WDGRPodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at WDGRPodcast. We have a Discord room. If you're listening to the audio, swing on by the show notes. There's a link for it in there. and click that link. Join us. Say hi. Talk about March Madness with us. Let us know what your picks are for the Final Four. Let us know how angry you are that Doom lost to Metal Gear Solid, because I'm angry. I'll flip another table. I don't even care. Oh my God. It's bullshit. It's just bullshit. I'm not going to sleep tonight because of this. Because of you, Will. This is your fault, Will.
I'm worried.
You and your
I'm worried.
fucking friends.
Go team.
We have a YouTube channel too. So if YouTube is your thing, swing on by and follow us on YouTube as well. The link for that is in the show notes as well. Will, tell me your SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.com/Will_gear.
And of course, you can find me on social media at ScionStorm. There's a little doohickey on the bottom of the screen. It's all pretty and stuff. Weehoo! All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks to everybody who sent in the mailbag questions, and thanks to the Twitch chat. Love you all. Peace.
Cheers.